What's up there, YouTube? This is a little tutorial video. I'll show you how to get your generator from so-called hunting or surging, which I'll show you from this to getting it running like this. What's up there, YouTube? Okay, so this is gonna be a tutorial video. I've had a video before on how to tune up these Wen generators to kind of keep them up and running, keep them in good condition. But this video is going to be a dual video. For starters, this video is going to show how to install a high altitude kit for these generators. This kit runs from 3,000 feet to 6,000 feet. So if you utilize your generator above 3,000 or in between 3,000 and 6,000, this is the kit you want to use. Show you what comes in it, and I'll leave a link in the description down below. Oops. Alright, so it'll come with your instructions. It'll come with a O-ring for the bottom of your carburetor bowl. It'll come with a little gasket that goes on the nut at the bottom of that carburetor bowl, and then the piece de la resistance, the actual jet that goes on the side. This one's rated for 3,000 to 6,000 feet. So we'll be installing that. The second part of this video is to address, as you could kind of tell in the beginning, to solve the hunting or surging. When a generator starts doing that, it's usually indicative that the main fuel jet nozzle is becoming clogged. So that'll cause that that sound. It's not harmful to the engine, but it is annoying, and as far as electronics, it might possibly hurt your electronics if it's surging. So if you have sensitive electronics, that might be a concern. As far as how's it sound, I don't know if the audio picked up earlier when I ran this. This one isn't too bad. My other generator, my WEN 2000 generator, was having some heavy hunting or surging sounds. So I went ahead and I worked on that and got it all cleared out, and it works brand new, as you could see in the beginning of the video. This one I started up, it doesn't sound too bad. It sounded like it hunted a little bit in the beginning, and then it kind of evens itself out. But I'm going to install this high altitude kit on this anyway, so might as well clear out the main jet while we're at it. So come along and let's figure out how to, let's show you how to take care of this bad boy. Alright? So what I'm working with here is a WEN generator, inverter generator. This is a 2250 watt. I have a 2000 watt down there. That's the older one. This is the newer one. Again, I worked on that one. Works brand new now. This one, same thing. I did do maintenance to both of these, so I changed out, I cleaned out the spark arrestor back here, which I'll leave a link to a past video that I did maintenance on these. Between these two generators, it's the same thing. I also changed the oil in this, and I cleaned the air filter on this as well. So, we're going to show how to open this up and get her taken care of, and I'll show you the tools that you need. Some of the tools that I used for this video to accomplish this maintenance task, I used a pair of pliers, a small socket set, small ratchet with a 8mm socket. I also use the small socket ratchet with a 10mm. I use a larger ratchet with a 10mm. And I used a few of these flathead screwdrivers, a regular Phillips screwdriver, a scraper just in case you need to scrape off the small flat washer at the bottom of the carburetor bowl where the nut tightens, to get that off. Very good kit to have is this carburetor cleaner kit right here. It has a bunch of these little fittings, and it also comes with these as well. This is a good kit. I'll have the link to Amazon for this. And carburetor cleaner. And that's what I use to do maintenance tasks on this Wen generator, and to install the high altitude kit. Alright, so we got to get this cover off, so we're going to use a little screwdriver, get these little bolts off. Handy down the magnetic tool. Get the bolts out. Don't forget to get this bolt up here, this little screw. Okay. Got it. Alright. Takes care of that. Now, in here. We have a couple bolts. We have one here, one right here, one down here, one here, and one here. So 4 of these total. And these take a 10mm socket. So we'll go ahead and get this loosened. So there's 6 screws on this back panel. This will pop off. And there we go. So this is where you access the spark arrestor and that stuff. We got that off. Alright, now, next thing we want to do, so I got that off loosened. There's only one other thing, which is a screw up here. We have to loosen. I don't think we have to take this whole panel off here. Okay, got it. And magnetic tool. Alright, now we're golden. Oh, forgot about that little nut there. That nut takes a 8mm wrench. There we go. get this off too. Okay, I got that off. This out. There you go. Just like that, you got that side panel off. Now, there's a little nut right here. I don't know if you can tell. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Right where my wrench is at, this little nut. And we're going to put the cup under here, and we're going to turn it. And all the gas that's in the carburetor is going to come out. We're just going to let that kind of come out a little bit. There we go. And then let's tighten her back up so we don't forget. Like that. Alright, so we got the gas out of the carburetor. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is remove this, the air cover. So, I'm going to undo this. Okay. And this is a little loose from when I had left it. So, take that off. Take the air filter out. And in here, we're going to have another little 8mm bolt inside the air cover. I'm going to take that off. And then on the side, there's a little 10mm. Which I already have loosened from prior. We're going to get this part off here. So we got two 10mm bolts. One here, one on the back side of here. We want to get those off. We can go ahead and disconnect this. This is for the air. Just kind of pop that out. And then this too comes right out like that. Okay, we got that out. So now let's get the air intake that leads to the carburetor off. Okay, and I'm gonna need the smaller wheel. Alright, so now we can pull this guy off. There'll be a gasket attached to it. Just be careful not to damage it too much. There we go. So I got this off. Looks like we got a little oil. I'm gonna pull the inner gasket off. Looks to be in good condition. And I'm gonna set it over on my air filter. Now, I got that off. Now we can pull the carb off. So this, you can just pull it straight out. And this is where it gets a little tricky. There we go. Got it. Alright. So, I don't have a lot of room to work on it here, so I'm going to disconnect the fuel line behind it. So do that, and that's also another thing I'll show you too, because inside this carburetor is a filter. So I'm just going to wiggle that out, wiggle, 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 and there goes your fuel into the cup that you have generously placed right below it. Alright, now I have some access to this guy. So, let me back it up a little bit. On the other side of this, which I'm going to have to reposition the camera. Yeah. right here on the back side of this so that the carb fits in like this, and I turn it. Right here is where your main fuel jet nozzle is. I was hoping to maybe get on it to the top, but that's why I took the other side of this off, but you can't, so we're just going to do this. Your screwdriver will fit, if it shows. The screw for the that holds in the main fuel nozzle is right here. So we're going to remove this one, and there's a hole that goes to the top of this, and we're just going to unscrew it. Unscrew it. There we go. Oops. And that's what you don't want to have happen, is all of the trinkets to fall. So you should have a washer and a screw here. So there. The screw goes to this, and this secures this over the fuel nozzle. So I'll move that out of the way. Next thing we're going to do, show you, see if you can see it. Zoom in here. Alright. Let's see if you can see it. Hold on. So it's right behind here, this black thing. I'm touching it with my finger. There's a black thing. We have to get a flat head screwdriver and push it up. So I got my flat screwdriver, and let's get her in there and kind of work this puppy up if we can. I'll get a smaller one. Oops, there it went. Got it. So, it just popped out. It fits right in here. So now we got it out. Alright, so let's set this down, the carb. This is your fuel nozzle. And right here, this right here, is where it gets clogged. So we have to clean that out. And I'm going to show you the tool that we use to clean this out with. Let's see. Alright. So, I got my little tool set here. You can get this on Amazon. This has a small enough wire. You can barely even tell it on the camera. But this has a small enough wire, this one right here, to fit inside there. It also comes with these little cleaning brushes too. That helps to get in the rest of this stuff inside this carburetor. So, what I'm going to do, I already know it's the smallest one on this series, which I don't know what size this is, but we're going to use it to clean it off. So, you just stick it on the end of the jet here, like so, and just kind of work it in there. Seems to be a little bit clogged. Right here, clean it out a little bit. I'm going to take this carb cleaner and I'm going to spray it. And let's go over it one more time with my tool. Okay, now back in she goes. So, if you can see this or not. Alright. I'm going to go right in here. It's going to go back right down in the hole that we found it. Be a little bit careful putting this in. There we go. and down it goes. Snaps in like a charm. Alright. There we go. Get her threaded. And we're just going to make sure it lines up good. Because I want this metal piece to be over the plastic valve there. Alright. Tighten her up. There we go. Alright, so that takes care of your valve jet there. Anyways, there's a little fuel filter inside this guy, which I replace, and we connect this back up. Yeah, right over there. That really doesn't keep it in there, but so actually, no, we're not gonna do that yet. Now we're gonna work on the bottom side of this, the carburetor. So this is a 10mm nut. We're going to crank that off. Okay. Now this part's to install the High Altitude Kit. Now you can see this nut already has a washer. It looks in good condition. I'm not going to replace it. It's in pretty good shape. Now, and we have the bowl out. That's the bowl, carburetor on the bottom. We'll put that there. Now I have access to the bottom of the carburetor. Now, we're gonna get this little guy here out. Let me see. Come on. Oops. Come on. We're gonna get this guy out right here. So I'm gonna get myself a screwdriver, a flathead, and this is gonna come off. Lefty loosey. There you go. That's your small little piece. That's the old one. I'm gonna put the new one in there, but before I even do that, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna clean that up. Let me see. Where? Okay. Nope, too big. There you go. This puppy. Get yourself a flathead that'll get in there and just loosen until you get it out of there. There we go. Got that on there. I'm going to clean this guy up using the same kit that I have. You want to clean all these little nozzles here in this thing. This, yeah. You want to clean all these little nozzles, because the gas in this thing, if it sits, and that's why you want to make sure you winterize it, will gunk up these parts. We don't want that, because then we get issues. So, yeah, pretty clean. I'm going to take my second part, the little brushes that it came with, and I'm going to go up the middle of this, clean it out, see, like that. Now I'm going to take some CARB cleaner, and I'm going to clean this puppy off. Alright. And I think that's it. We're pretty clean. So, we're going to put him back in there. Actually, before I do that, I want to clean this guy out pretty good. I'll spray a little CARB cleaner in there. Okay. And let's spray a little CARB cleaner in here. Okay. Good. That's done. Let's put this guy back in here. Tightening her up. And we're going to screw this all the way in there till it tightens down. Alright, nice and tight. Now, we're going to take our high altitude kit here, right here. Come on, focus. And we're going to install this on the side. Alright, that little part there, we're going to install that. This little part's going to screw right in here. Make our flathead and tighten her down. Hand tighten it. Well, we got this. We'll push our O-ring back in here. Make sure it's snug in there. Alright. Now our O-ring looks good. I'm not worried about it. Now, I'm going to put the bottom of the bowl back on. Like this. Now I'm not going to put it all the way on because I need to see where it lines up, because we need to be able to have this screw right here face towards an area that's accessible. Okay, so I got her plugged back in. Alright, now we're going to plug this back into the post right here. You want to make sure your gasket's still in there. It is. So it's going to go back on here. Now, I'm going to kind of fandangle this thing till I can get it in the screw holes. I got it. And I'm going to kind of wiggle it. There you go. There you go. Your carburetor's on there. So now it's time to put on the carburetor. Well, secure it, I mean. So, look at the orientation of this. The gasket's going to go back on here. And let me move it over now that we got our bearings here. Okay. Alright, so got my little gasket here. Now this is going to go on it like so. And just line it up there. Perfect. Now you can put your two little bolts back on here. Just kind of hand tighten them down. There you go. Now we're going to get our ratchet and tighten this beast down. Tighten it just good enough. You don't want to overdo it. Okay. That's the hardest part. That's done. So, I'm going to plug this hose back in. And the air hose and back into there. We've got that in. Next up, that's going back, is our air filter compartment. So let's go here. Make sure there is no dirt on here. Slightly clean it out. There we go. And then we're gonna kind of wiggle this back inside here. There you go. It's attached. Now you're gonna get your small bolt. That's gonna go right here. And our big bolt. That's gonna go right here. And tighten them. Okay. And that's good. Our smaller one, 8mm. Hand tighten it. There we go. Once it's hand tightened, tighten her down. Not too much, but just enough. Alright, we got that on. Let's put our air filter back in here. There we go. And finally, our cover. It fits right on there. And we're going to screw that in. Tighten it down. Perfect. Put our hoses back through here and here. Alright. Next, this was what I was talking about with the orientation here. I am going to admit I did screw up a little bit here. Nothing that the right tool won't help with. Get yourself a wrench and tighten her down. I'm going to hand tighten this as much as I can. Again, you want this facing this way so you can access it to drain it if you need to. So, tighten it. Alright, and we're good. So that should be nice and tight. Alright, let's start putting this guy back together, and we'll get her running. Alright, let's start her out and see how she runs. Choke, and 1, 2, 3. And that's how you install a high altitude kit for your Wen generator. And also to clean out the main fuel jet at the top of the carburetor, as well as some pieces on the bottom of the carburetor. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this video was helpful to you. GDI Ranger 77 out.